So you want to speak at a social media conference, huh? My name's Chris Strub. I'm here in my hometown of Huntington, Long Island. I'm heading in 2 weeks to speak at my 8th social media conference in the last 2 years in St. Louis at the Midwest Digital Marketing Conference, March 27th and 28th. I have 4 social media speaking engagements lined up in the next 4 months: St. Louis, Chicago, Atlanta, and Social Media Day in a city to be announced soon. And now, in this video, I'm going to share with you my 5 tips to become a successful social media speaker, no matter who you are, no matter what you do, no matter where you work. Ready? Number 1, attend the conference. This seems so crazy and it's so simple, but a lot of people don't necessarily think to do that. Now, can you speak at a conference that you haven't attended before? Of course you can. But by far, the best way to get into the loop and to get to know the people that are putting the conference together is to go to that conference. As we'll talk about a little bit more in just a minute, networking is absolutely everything. And if you're sitting on your couch or you're sitting at work watching from a distance, it's highly unlikely that you're going to be able to capture the attention of those people, those organizers who have worked so hard to put their event together throughout the course of a year, if you're not making the effort to show them that you want to go and be part of that experience, whether you're speaking or not. Step number 2, when you go to this conference, or even if you're watching from a distance, use Twitter a lot. Use Twitter to your advantage. So there's so many different social media platforms, so many different networks where we can all connect. Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, all these different channels, and they're all important in their own ways. But at a conference, Twitter seems to be the peak opportunity for people to connect with other people and other businesses that are having discussions around that specific conference or about specific topics at that conference. Twitter is your friend. And even if Twitter isn't your primary network, or, oh, I don't use Twitter too often, maybe you have 1, 2, 3 followers. It doesn't matter. Twitter is the ultimate way for people to connect with one another, no matter how big or small their networks are. Use Twitter to monitor the valuable conversations that are taking place at that conference. And most importantly, jump in, be heard. Use all of the different tools at your disposal. I'm actually going to do a separate blog and maybe a separate video all about how best to use Twitter at a conference. But for now, you can check out this other blog that I put together about how I've used Twitter to build my network over the last few years. And you have to make sure that you're using all of the multimedia tools at your disposal on Twitter as well. So don't just reply back with a tweet. Make sure you use, at the very least, GIFs. You can also attach pictures. And most importantly, you can use video on Twitter. Yes, video natively on Twitter. It absolutely makes you stand out. Trust me, I do this all the time. It's a fantastic way for you to show your face, to show your emotion, to be able to communicate directly with the people that you want to talk to at that conference, whether they're the organizers, the speakers, the influencers, the creators, whoever. Okay, social media marketing world. At Michael's here on Long Island. Flying out to San Diego in 2 days. The hustle is real right now. I am looking around. I don't really know creators. Whoever it is, you can get on their radar by creating video on Twitter. Use the hashtag to make sure that it shows up in that entire feed. And it's incredible how quickly you can build relationships on Twitter at a conference. Funny story, the first social media conference that I ever went to was the Shake Up Show in 2014 in Atlanta. And of course, I was on Twitter at that conference, just like I'm talking about. I connected with this guy at D. Genghis. His name is Dan Genghis. Back then he worked at Discover. After that conference ended, about a year later, he started a job with Humana, and we kept in touch over the course of that year, 2 years. Dan and I, long story short, we are now best friends. We talk all the time. I was on the phone with Dan for almost an hour yesterday, and we've spoken at different conferences together. I flew to Chicago and went to a Cubs game with him. This was someone that I met through Twitter at a social media conference by our common use of a hashtag in Atlanta. And now not only are we best friends, but we're opening doors for each other to speak at different conferences. I actually worked with Dan at Humana in Louisville back in 2016. And long story short, all of this happened because we were both being proactive and both keeping an eye on the conversation happening on Twitter around that conference. It works. Okay, tip number 3, you have to own your lane. When you decide what you want to specialize in, what you're about, what your niche is, you have to absolutely 1000% own it. You want to be the expert in your topic, in your field. You want to be the go-to person that when conference organizers are putting together a list of what they want to put on the schedule for that year, that they know that they need to have you at that conference. Of course, this is easier said than done. There's no way that I can describe exactly to you in a quick video like this all the work that needs to go into owning your niche and being the expert in your field. But there are a lot of ways that you can stand out and you can do this in a simple and easy fashion. Certainly there are ways to brand yourself to stand out when you're at a conference. If you were at Social Media Marketing World or you saw any of the pictures, you saw that I brought my yellow I am here hat. This is my company logo on a yellow hat. There's my hashtag I am here. See, I also wear my Snapchat spectacles that of course come in their yellow case. There they are. I wrote a book about my niche, which is live streaming for nonprofits. There you go. Again, you see the yellow here. 50 States, 100 Days, the book, it's yellow. So writing a book is another fantastic way to own your niche. Again, you don't have to go to 50 states in 100 days. You don't have to do what I did to write a book to be considered a thought leader in your specific niche. And of course you see here the Honda Hotel as well. This is another way that I brand myself. Even my car has all these stickers and things on it. Even the license plate is yellow. 50 states, 100 days. The Snapchat sticker, yellow. So it's crazy how all these things come together to build that cohesive brand that represents, oh, when I see yellow at a conference, I know that it's Chris Strub. Again, I'm not telling you to try and be more like me. I'm telling you to try and be more like you. Define who you are and don't be afraid to stand out. Don't be afraid to be a leader in your niche. Don't be afraid to consider yourself a thought leader in your niche, because if you don't believe it, how is anybody else going to believe it? Now this step number 3, I think is the absolute most important part of this entire video. You have to own your niche. You have to be super confident in what it is that you're talking about. And I would recommend you want to drill down as much as possible, be as specific as you can with what that niche is. It really stuck with me last spring, the season finale of Mario Armstrong's Never Settle Show, season 1, when he brought on Damon John from Shark Tank, and Damon John was talking about how to zoom your thought process down, zoom your description of yourself down so deep that you can fit it on the back of a business card. How would someone else describe you to someone else? How would someone else describe what you do, who you are, to somebody else? I know that I am the 50 states guy, or I'm Mr. 50 States 100 Days, right? Or the nonprofits guy, right? So the 50 States 100 Days shtick, if you will, is perfect because it sticks with you. It's quick, it's easy, you remember it, right? When you think about being a social media marketer, or I'm a YouTuber, how many millions of YouTubers are there? Right? How many millions of social media marketers are there out there? So if you want to try and win that niche, go for it. But I'm telling you, you're really going to need something more specific and something that further differentiates you from the pack, that separates you from the crowd, which is why having a zoomed in niche. And again, to me, it doesn't really matter what that niche is. And we're going to get into why it doesn't matter so much what that niche is in step number 4. Or step 4, be good to people always. Always just be good, be kind, be courteous, respect people's attention, respect people's enthusiasm. Be good to people at every single turn, because you never ever know when that relationship, when that positive experience is going to come back around for you. You want to give, 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 and give some more, and always be respectful of everyone who wants a piece of your time. Gary Vaynerchuk talks about this all the time, and I think at Social Media Marketing World, this was a huge theme a couple weeks ago in San Diego. Just be good to everybody. Quite honestly, you never really know who the people are that are going to open doors for you. You never ever know where that value is going to come from. You never know where that next introduction is going to come from. And so when you're walking through the hallways, when you're going to the supermarket, anywhere that you are representing yourself, which is anywhere and everywhere, online and offline, always just be good to everyone you meet, because you never ever know when that interaction may turn into something positive, something valuable, and something tremendous, like the next job opportunity, or for you, maybe the next speaking opportunity. And last but not least, tip number 5. Actually, this was supposed to be tip number 3, but I don't do a lot of these sequential videos, so I screwed it up. Tip number 5. Tip number 5. Network, network, network. Whether you're at the conference or you're sitting at home, there are so many opportunities out there to get to know the people in your industry, to get to know the people that are putting together these conferences, to get to know the people that are speaking, to get to know the people that are several steps ahead of where you might be in your journey to becoming a speaker, to becoming successful in your field. I can tell you from personal experience that all of the people that I surround myself with on social media, from the big time industry leaders to the people that want to get to that point at some point in their career, every single one of them has one trait in common, and that is being good to people. And so don't be shy to reach out. Don't be shy to reach out to me. Don't be shy to reach out to a lot of the other thought leaders, the Brian Fanzos, the Roberto Blakes, the Sean Ayalas, the Karen Freebergs, the Sonny Leonarduzzi's, all of these, and even Dan Gingiss, who I spoke about earlier in this video. Reach out individually to these people. I recommend doing it on Twitter. I think that's a great forum where a lot of these interactions are public and you have a chance to reply and reply back, and it just looks really, really good for you from a potential speaking perspective, because yes, organizers can see what you're doing on these social networks. So network, 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 but it's everyone that you meet that can eventually open doors for you. So don't be shy to put yourself out there, to network, 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 to network, 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 add people on LinkedIn, add them on Facebook. Remember that every single touch point matters, and on social media, leverage that to your advantage. But remember, that tip number 3, you have to own your lane. Networking alone isn't going to get you there. You have to put in the work in your own thing, your own brand, your own style, to be able to stand out, so that when they're looking for you, they'll know exactly what they're coming across when they do find you. So that's it. Those are my 5 tips for you to land your first social media speaking engagement in 2018. If you enjoyed this video, please do me a favor, smash that like button and that subscribe button here on YouTube. Make sure you check out teamstrub.com to see a full list of all the places where I'll be speaking in 2018 and beyond. And if you see me at one of these conferences, please do me a favor. Come on up and say hi. I promise you, I want to help you get up there on stage right along with the rest of us. You can follow me on Facebook, facebook.com/teamstrub. Check me out on Instagram @Chris Strub. Follow me on Snapchat @Chris Strub. And of course, find me on Twitter @Chris Strub. Send me a tweet. Better yet, send me a video. I'll send you one right back. Keep in touch, and hopefully I'll see you up on stage real soon.